Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. Today I want to cover a video I've wanted to cover for a while. I'll get as much as I can out of the way. Wing Chun 101. I just want to cover some of the basics because I know that Yip Man, as you may know them, IP Man movies are popular, and I just want you guys to clarify and so you understand some things. You're not going to really see a lot of this stuff in the movies. I mean, you'll see some of it, but you're not going to see it like to a T. Wing Chun, I think, is very commonly misconstrued these days because you have the modified versions and the traditional versions, and we'll cover some of that too. I do have some other videos that talk on the specifics of these things, but I'm going to try to talk about it as a whole so people can really get an understanding of what Wing Chun is. So Wing Chun, as it was taught to me by Master Clayton out of Baltimore, and I'll put links for the three main masters I suggest training under if you want to learn Wing Chun. I am not a master. I am a Kung Fu expert. There is a difference. A master knows everything about a style. I know things that masters don't know about the whole of Kung Fu, and every master knows things I don't know about their style. So I'd say it's a little skewed there, but I'm going to give you the best I can. All right. So Wing Chun, as it was taught to me by Master Clayton, is the process of interception or interruption. And a lot of it is like if you've ever been in a street fight or had to defend yourself, the biggest problem is and that he pointed out. I know this sounds really stupid, but a lot of you guys forget this when you're in a fight. When you're fighting somebody, the other person is fighting you too. I know that sounds really dumb, but a lot of you guys forget that they're in like this heightened, scared, energetic state also. So being able to interrupt those limbs, whether they're in a planned attack or a just like sporadic flailing attack, you still need to understand how to get those limbs to go out of the way. All right, and not to be said that we do come up the center line sometimes, but you'll see. All right, so let's see, what can we cover? So let's start with footwork. Okay, personally, I take the neutral stance until somebody tells me which way to go. I tend to stay fully neutral, meaning that I can go southpaw or orthodox, depending on if they go southpaw or orthodox, right? And personally, I have this whole like Filipino Wing Chun hybrid mix. I'll try to get into some of that, and actually, we'll cover that right now. So the modified stance, as you'll see it, toes in, like really toes in, knees in, and there's nothing wrong with this approach. I actually, especially if you're doing the Filipino collaboration with Wing Chun, you will be doing this while gripping your toes and pushing your legs at the same time out. Via again, this is only very specific groups. I'm not speaking for all of them. So yeah, uh, the stance is the modified Wing Chun. If you're one of the groups collaborating with Filipino groups, you're going to push, right? So here I'm in my scared monkey, that some of you will be familiar with, and you push the outside ridges of your foot. And if you look, my legs are flexing and kind of pushing out, but the other person doesn't see this. As soon as you step, your arms are up, you're pushing. And what I'm pushing my feet into my side heels for, I'm waiting for you to step forward and tell me which way to go. Like as soon as you're like going into your orthodox stance, pretty much as soon as your left side comes up, I'm just going to pick up my right foot and go that way, right? So that's some of your modified. And again, the modified is also so you can just pick up and check and keep yourself in a. If you notice the triangular position, it gives you a lot of foundation for both rooting and for pulling. But with the traditional stuff, both that I found in China and with the other masters, the traditional masters I've studied, it's typically going to be just like slightly toes in forward. So to give you an idea, this is your modified toes in Wing Chun feet. This is your traditional toes in Wing Chun feet or Southern feet, from my experience, just slightly in. And a lot of times you're just twisting your Yang Chuan point into trying to bond better. I'm not going to get into all that way too far. All right. So stepping from that, there's two steppings I've learned. You have as soon as you decide if you're going to be in your orthodox or southpaw stance, um, that's when you're going to start. You're going to step. Once you pick the side here, you're going to do your hun sao or block that first jab coming in. Maybe throw a kick to stop their progression, and then bam, 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 bam. And when you step in, you really want to step into their center line. Make it really uncomfortable. And as soon as they do, you're going to get that pox out over to get their limb over. Maybe pivot them even further, and then just step, bow, 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 right? Same thing if you're going here. It's the exact same thing. Bam, step forward, bow, 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 right? And then, of course, you go into your chain punches or palm striking, leopard, tiger, mantis, wrist, palm, whatever you're going to hit them with. Just keep going and step in third. And then, of course, after you sting, boom, 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 step out and realign. Now, so that covers the feet. Not everything Wing Chun feet, obviously. There's all kinds of stepping, right? We do all kinds of stuff with your stepping training. And when you step forward, you don't just drag your foot, you're going to step and step. Um, the Filipino groups that still do the sing kill know about that more than anything, in my opinion, because they do the old school, step over the poles while moving them techniques. Look into the sing kill in Filipino groups, you'll like it. All right, so I'm running out of daylight here. What else we got? So covering your hands. The reason why you see a Wing Chun person's hands here and here, their upper or front hand is covering from the top of the head to their shoulder, and your back hand is covering from your shoulder to your waist, and then of course your knees cover from your waist down. And this makes it really simple, especially, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're training a trained fighter or untrained fighter. The only difference is that a trained fighter will be able to adapt slightly, but the fact that you're fighting from orthodox and southpaw, in my experience, makes it very hard for a trained fighter to understand both what to do and what you're doing. It makes you very unpredictable. And of course, I have my strength on one side. Well, I wouldn't say one side's stronger than the other. Each side has its own strength when I fight. So I mean, if you're catching my orthodox, you're going to get hit with a lot more speed and almost want to say like ignorant power. Whereas if I'm hitting you with southpaw or the right hand forward, you're going to get a lot more clean. Like if I'm striking you with my left hand as hard as you can, it is going to be clean power. It's going to land. I ain't throwing it unless I know it's going to land because it doesn't have the intuition that this hand does. But at the same time, I can do both with both, just to a lesser degree. All right. So that's what your hands are there. And personally, so you see a bunch of people. Some people come here with their Wang Chun, right? Some people come here. Some people come here. It is my personal experience from sparring with Muay Thai instructors. I don't know why, but this has always been my most comfortable position. A couple things from here. You can go right to the feel style real easy. I mean, and it gives you that flicking power, whereas if you're here, you're just extending. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like it can kind of be telegraphed that, if somebody's smart enough, they'll see that you're able to just move your arm. Whereas if you're here, they're never going to understand that you're going to go boom or come here. And this is that when I talked about coming straight at the pike sometimes, as opposed to interception or interruption, um, if somebody is going for some like real wide rope swing, let's say they're throwing a right hook, you just step forward, bow, you step in same time, catch the block on the inside of the elbow or at the bicep, and drill them at the same time. And of course, some people are going to fake, and that's when you want to do some of the more refined stuff. What I do for this, because I mean, in a street fight, if somebody doesn't think you can fight and they're swinging for the ropes, they're not gonna like boom, boom. Like I'm not saying that they can't double over a hook to kind of fake you, but I mean you're talking about a skilled boxer who can be calm in a street fight and pull off a skill like that without getting popped. Like, and even then, as soon as you see him go for the miss, you should just like pop him once in the temple and keep going. Anyway, sorry, I got off topic there, but yeah. So when you see those big shots, you can check boom, right? So you got that pox out coming in. Now they want to throw a hook. You're already covered here because their arms are over here, and they're going to try to throw some weird hook over top of their own jab. If you can picture it, right? Jab, block. Here comes the hook because they're trying to fight for that last second. I've already got their arm going this way. Bam, right there, and that's what we're talking about. And then of course you'll never stop at one. If you're in that position, boom, boom, just keep going. Uh-oh, I think I broke the camera. I tried to move as fast as I could with some chewies and it locked up. Anyway, so you have that. Uh, yeah, so that's all I'll give you for your Wing Chun 101. Know how to change Chun, Chun. And I will say real quick, when it comes to those people that can throw fakes and get you going the wrong way, what I do is I do something like I would do like a double tansao, or I'm sorry, a single tansao chui, but practice going from one to the other. Practice having that fake thrown at you. Bam, bam. So at least when you do it, when you're here and your body sees that this thing's coming, you've already practiced to change to here midsection. And that's the good thing about Kung Fu that you don't get, and the combat arts that you don't get with the sports arts, right? Because, sorry, I think I lost track. I've been going for a long time there, so that was a long streak. Where was I? Top, bottom. Come on, the strike. Yeah. So you want to train how you fight. So when you're doing these deflections, it's good to practice because your brain, in my experience, can do things that you don't always. I'm always in some control when I am defending myself, but there is a point where you need to relax and let your body do what it does. And if you never experienced this, that's cool. But I have experienced it twice that I can recall where my limbs were floating with a grandmaster or in a street fight, and I had to let go of cognitive control for my body to do what it was trained to do as fast as it could. You had to I had to get my brain out of the way. So it's good to just train these things. My favorite for this is to do a phoenix eye to the throat double. Remember, guys, I don't fight. I'm just practicing manifesting energy. This is not what I do. So I mean, but yeah, for you to be able to walk up into a street fight and go for that initial block phoenix side of the throat and be able to, sorry, I actually tripped. Good lesson for me, right? Boom, boom. So as soon as they're stepping, boom. They're not making it around this forearm. I'll tell you right now to hit me. And if they do, I just got to adjust slightly, which would actually make it worse for them. And then if they decide to fake, it's actually going to, again, make it worse because you're coming, as opposed to coming up and driving, you're now coming down with all your body weight, bam, and hitting them right there. And of course, this could be for anything, man. I mean, you could, obviously, you could like slip, like straight cross, slip, slip. You could do it any way you want. So don't let it be just the Wing Chun. You could do it with leopards. You can do it with palm strikes. Just make sure you have practicing something for that quick reactive fake. Again, you shouldn't be fighting. You shouldn't be fighting, but if you have to, do what you got to, train how you got to, practice how you fight. Um, yeah, I'm actually glad I had that spacey moment earlier because you really got to train how you fight. When you're doing drills with your friends and stuff, you got to keep going. You cannot sit there and be like, okay, guys, let's restart this entire drill. No, finish that drill and then restart it because you can't be in a fight and be like, oh, let's start over. Like, no, finish it. You just almost got knocked. Like, picture you're in a fight, you're doing your drills, you almost just got knocked out, and you need to keep going or else it's going to be the end. And that's how you train yourself to get ready for things. All right. So there you have it. That was a good bit of breath. Been wanting to get that one out for a while. I hope you enjoyed this Wing Chun 101 video. I've got a bunch of stuff done I need to get done the past few months. So we'll be flowing videos out a lot more smoother now and back to that original content. Or actually, the entire list of playlists will be getting added to from now on a more regular basis. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Peace and blessings. Ming. Thanks for stopping by.